random hangout time. Hey, Rhonda.
Hello, how are you?
Help me, help me, help me, Rhonda.
Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
I want to welcome
I had
everybody.
someone do my intro and sing it too, so
Oh, should we
that's
sing
up.
it together?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Ready?
ready?
1, 2, 3. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
Help me, Rhonda.
Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
Help me, Rhonda.
Okay,
Okay,
let's not torture these people any longer.
oh, oh. Okay, ever since you were here, I caught some nasty 5-week cough thing, and I bruised a rib.
I knew you were going to pull a rib on our last hangout when you couldn't quit coughing. I knew you were going to pull a rib. I knew it was going to happen.
It did happen, and I'm trying to be happy, but sometimes I forget because it only hurts when I cough or sneeze or laugh. So if we're not being really funny, it's purely because Rhonda's being kind to me. But hey, I thought we would start our hangout with a Help Me Rhonda segment, truly, because right now you guys are all wondering, like, how are we doing Bizapalooza and Random Hangout at the same time? And it's all through the wonders of technology and an online business manager, right?
Right, exactly. So for Hey Help Me Rhonda, I'll start out with a few tips, and Ivana has some tips as well because she is virtual event queen. She's ran so many. She's ran Bizapalooza for a couple of years now. So some of my best tips are have a good system to run them through so that you can put them on autopilot. So you can be on your hangout show or outside laying in the sun while your virtual event is going on. So that's number one. Ivana uses Stealth Seminar, which works really well. Webinar Jam is another one that works really good too that you could put it on. So have a system to run it on. Next thing is do get a lot of your preparation done beforehand and have a good team. Have a team of people who are going to help you, people that are working behind the scenes, people who are going to help manage things, make sure things are running well without you actually having to be there. So if a lot of the stuff is already done, you have a really good team, then that's going to make your virtual event go a lot smoother. So, and test everything out too before it starts, so that you know everything's going to run the way it's supposed to run. So those are my Hey Help Me Rhonda tips. Those are the two biggest. There's a lot that goes into a virtual event, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But those are two big tips. Have a good team and have a good platform to run it on, because that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache. But today we're both going to share some wonderful tips for running virtual events, whether it's telesummits or virtual video events, if it's hangouts, whatever it is that you're going to run that's going to be a virtual event. We're going to give you some great tips for doing that.
Yeah, really excited about that. And you know, I want to start our conversation with just the biggest tip of all, and that is just do it. Right? There's really only one way to even begin getting good at it, and that is just to do it. You got to get started. And Rhonda, you and I worked on a first one. That was probably one of the first projects we worked on, other than the setting up my one shopping cart.
Right. That was a trial by fire, and I had never been a part of a virtual event of that magnitude. So, and Ivana threw me in head first. So. It was a lot of fun. We learned a lot together, though. And so through that, what we did was we created these different systems. We created checklists and all kinds of things. So that's a good idea. Write down things. And even when you make a mistake, just write it down and write down how it was resolved. So that way, next time, that goes on your checklist. That's something to check and something to look into, because we learned the hard way on a lot of it. So that's why we made the checklist. So this Bizapalooza this time went a whole lot smoother, and we weren't as stressed. We were more stressed with the marketing and the promoting, than actually putting it together. The putting it together wasn't as bad as the time before. Of course, it takes work. It's all going to take work. But the promoting was probably the most stressful and what we had to put the most attention on, which is a good thing, because that's where you want to be able to spend your time, is in the promoting and not trying to get everything together, because you want people to come to this event. But if you're spending all your time on all the moving parts of it because you don't have a good plan or a good strategy, then that's not going to leave a lot of time for really good promoting. So that should be your main focus, is your promoting.
And, you know, another tip is create your landing page first. Create the landing page, create the sales structure of it first, because when you're recruiting speakers and when you're, you know, starting to move along in your process, you want to have a place to send them to. And, you know, there's something else that I did this year, albeit too late, right? I'm always learning. And that is to get feedback from other small communities before you do your marketing. So yes, develop like a draft of a landing page, but give yourself some space and some time to make adjustments and tweak, because I didn't do that until later in the process this time along. Last year, we just slapped it together, and I mean, we went from 0 to 200 very, very quickly. This year, I probably should have done a little more testing and planning for the promotional part earlier.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people get into that. So having a landing page up early is great, and it doesn't take long. You can have a simple landing page that's just a registration page, just to get people to start registering, because nothing has to be done at that point. The only thing that has to be done is just your registration page, connect it to your email marketing provider, and then just have a thank you page. And the thank you page can just have, you know, simple information about, you know, when it starts and what's coming, and the content can actually be put on there as you're going. So people will register, they know what's coming, just get the basics, just, you know, a couple of paragraphs that tells them what it's about, especially if it's a free event. You know, people will sign up if you give them good details about what it's about. And you want somewhere to, like you said, for your speakers to go to find out more about what the event's going to be about, that they're going to be speaking on, so they know if it really is a good fit for them, if it's something they want to be a part of, if it's actually going to be beneficial to their audience as well, because they're going to be promoting. So yeah, that's all important too. And speaking of speakers, I always tell everyone, my clients that want to do virtual events, that that's going to be your hardest part, is managing the speakers.
Finding speakers. Some people really struggle with finding speakers too, and that's where an online business manager comes in handy. And if you know you want to run a virtual event, it's a really good idea to start your research early, right? Start searching Facebook pages and different sites for different experts and maybe some other virtual events. That's a great tip, right? Go and troll some other virtual events. Just Google telesummit or Google webinar, and you're going to find a lot of great content out there.
Yeah, and send them a message. I mean, some people are scared to reach out to someone. They're like, oh, they would never speak at my event, but you would be surprised. I have a lot of clients who tell me that. They're like, oh, I don't think so-and-so will speak at my event, and we'll send them a message, and they're right on board. So don't be intimidated by anyone. I mean, people love to share their passion, their knowledge, and no matter how big they are, how big their list is, or how intimidating they seem to you, you never know. So, and if they won't speak at your event, at least you did make that contact, and it might be a good contact for you later. Maybe they're busy or whatever, but at least you stepped out there, and they're not going to be rude to you.
That's exactly
most people are going to, you know, graciously decline or whatever. So there's no harm in putting yourself out there and just asking.
Exactly. Speaking at events is really, really terrific. And can I just talk about the biggest benefit of running a virtual event and recruiting speakers? And I hope that for those of you folks that are really relationship driven, I really hope that you latch on to this one, because truly, I'm not very detail oriented, which is why Rhonda's a huge part of my team. But one of the parts I really, really loved is engaging with the experts, meeting them and being in conversation with them and listening to their presentations. Not only did I learn a lot, but I just got to meet some incredible people and make some great connections. So that's a really big deal.
Yeah, just to reiterate on the, Ivana is not a very detailed person. Just in the green room, Ivana sent me a message, and it told me about a page she had and these things that she liked, and that was it. And then when we got in the green room, I'm like, Ivana, I got your message. It's about as clear as mud. There is no call to action there. I have no idea if you're just bragging about this page that you have, or you just wanted to blurt something out, or am I supposed to do something?
Right?
So that's the beauty of working with Ivana. She's wonderful, and I love her, and I love working with her. But yeah, I usually need a follow-up, so I know what is it you want me to do.
I'll go from one extreme to the other. I'll go from sending very detailed instructions with a video tutorial,
yeah, exactly,
all the way to
complete video,
all the way to, can we just upload this thing somehow?
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
Okay, so the other thing that people are probably wondering, and we're doing this big Bizapalooza thing, by the way. It's still going on, and Rhonda's a speaker, so you don't want to miss that. It's www.smallbizapalooza.com. You don't want to miss Rhonda talking about a lot of really great team stuff. But what we wanted to talk about was sequels.
Yes.
Okay.
We're talking about, this is your sequel. This is your sequel to Bizapalooza.
It is.
And you were telling me you're not as excited in the sequel, because I know you guys out there love the first one, and you couldn't wait for the sequel to come out, and then when you went to Ned, you're not going to be disappointed at the sequel of Bizapalooza. It's actually really, really good. But sometimes when you do, and sometimes you lose that excitement in the second one. So you guys can probably relate. If you can think of a sequel that you were really, really, put it in the comments. We'd like to see what your picks were. Mine was The Hangover. I love the first Hangover, but the ones afterwards, they weren't that great.
Yeah, well, and I want to talk about something. I've been thinking about it, and I think what happens is that the first time, maybe it's like a band or something. They put that first album out, and it's really, really incredible. And likewise, there's a certain amount of energy and fire that goes on. But just as we were talking about the second time around, we had a lot of systems and a lot of structure. I started reaching out to experts very early, and I think that I got a little comfortable because we had a structure and a system, and then when it came time to really get the word out, I sort of freaked out a little bit. And
right.
started either questioning myself,
or
I think I felt like I lost.
Yeah, I think Sharon knows exactly why you were freaked out. This is why you were freaked out right here.
Yeah.
You're doing double duty.
Yeah, right.
That's what freaked you out. And then Scott, he popped in to say hi. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there you are.
Scott.
You're back.
Scott was one of the game show hangouts with me on 2 Sundays ago, and we were partners. We didn't win the game, but we had a whole lot of fun, and he was my partner on the game show. So shout out to Scott, and thank you for popping in to say hello. I really appreciate it.
I know, and I'm asking anyone who's looking at this to definitely go and head out and check out the Bizapalooza so you have an idea of what we're talking about. I mean, let's talk about virtual events now also as really awesome sponsorship opportunities and ways to get your name out to people in a super, super easy marketing kind of thing. Not necessarily as a producer, but maybe as a participant or maybe someone who shares an event. Virtual events are just an awesome way to get educated, get training, typically for free if you're there live. Of course, if you're not there live, don't worry about it. Stuff is available for you to purchase usually. But I think it's just a really great new model that people can use to either create training product or other kinds of, what else would you call it? I'm calling it training, education, information.
Right.
I'm calling it the 3-day MBA.
Right, and it's free information. And a lot of times people think, okay, because it's free information, they're just going to get junk or whatever. But really, in my experience as an online business manager and running these type of events, you're really getting great content. And the reason why is because these speakers are speaking maybe on a new platform and to new audiences that they haven't touched before. So they're going to give you their best stuff because they want you to know what they know, and they want you to know that they know what they're talking about. They want you to know what their expertise is in. They're going to give you really great tips because they're trying to impress, because they are in front of maybe a new audience. So you're really getting good content. It's not just junk content or whatever because it's free. It's really good, valuable content because these speakers and these experts want to put their best foot forward because this is going out there live to everyone. So you're going to get some great content at these virtual events as an attendee. And then as a presenter or an expert yourself, that's going to help you to collect leads from the others because everyone else is going to be promoting too. So if it's like-minded people or people who are in an industry that complements yours, that's going to help you because you're going to get leads. People from their audiences are going to be able to experience you, and so you may get clients out of that as well, being a speaker. You're also going to get the exposure. You're going to build your own rapport. So you're building a name for yourself too. If you're not, already a big name, then, that's always good. Even if you are, a lot of times you're only popular in your own tribe. Because, I can talk to people just like, Suzanne Evans. Everyone who follows Suzanne Evans, they know who she is. But a lot of people outside of that tribe have no idea who she is. So even, someone like her can benefit from stepping into someone else's platform and speaking there. So that's why a lot of them are willing to do it, and they're going to put their best foot forward. They're going to put out good content because they want you to know, what they're an expert at, and they want to give you their best content.
Excellent. So I want to talk a little bit about, how about virtual event epiphany?
Okay, sounds good. Also, I wanted to let you know that Sharon is doing double duty too. She's actually watching the biz slides while listening.
Good, because Marketo is our sponsor, and they are absolutely amazing. They have a really awesome platform, and I want to share this just in this little video because I know a lot of the people that we follow don't know about this. We've all heard about Infusionsoft, and we've heard about HubSpot, and people that are small businesses are shelling out big bucks for this kind of platform. And maybe they've avoided Marketo because they thought it was a huge enterprise platform, and guess what? It's not. It's not. So there's another player in the game, and I know that there are people who are, am I allowed to say this? Infusionsoft unhappy people?
Oh yeah, I have people that come to me and want to come out of Infusionsoft, and they call it Confusionsoft. So right. It's not. Infusionsoft can be a great platform. I'm not knocking it. I set up a lot of Infusionsofts, and if people didn't buy Infusionsoft, then they wouldn't need me. So I'm definitely not knocking it because it is a little confusing, but it can be a great platform, but it's not for everyone, and it's especially not for people who want to try to DIY it either. because it is very hard to learn. It took me a while to learn, and there's still stuff in Infusionsoft that I'm still figuring out, and I've been working with it for a while. So, you know, Infusionsoft isn't for everyone.
It's not, and we talked a little bit about platforms, so I just definitely want, because they're presenting right now, and even if you miss their presentation, definitely head in there, register, and get your replays while you can, right? So definitely want to talk about that. But I want to talk about, what did I want to talk about?
Your epiphany.
Right, virtual event epiphany, right? Okay, virtual event epiphany number 1, okay, is you have to get really great presenters, but don't be snowed by the size of their list. So size in terms of lists doesn't really matter, because I'll tell you what.
Size doesn't matter. We hear it all the time. Take it from us. It doesn't matter.
You know, and the other thing, that the reason that size doesn't matter is that click-through rates have been dropping dramatically. And typically, and you might know this better than I do because you work with so many more broader lists.
Right.
Having an open rate about 20-some%, 20 to 30% is about average. I'm giving broad strokes here. Click-through rates of maybe 3%. This is for an engaged list, and
right.
maybe a 1% conversion rate. I've actually seen where lists are really large, that open rates are lower and click-through rates are lower. Basically, if someone has a really large list, don't be snowed by the size of their list, because you're likely to really only get 1% of whatever they say the size of their list is. So that is my virtual event epiphany, right? So size
is very
true. It's not about
usually when you have a bigger list, you just physically cannot engage with that many people. So I see clients with the more small, engaged, intimate list do a whole lot better. They have higher open rates, and they'll even have open rates in the 40 to 50% range. And they'll have click-through rates that are a lot higher, and even conversion rates that are a whole lot higher. I'm talking like 5 to 10%, which is phenomenal. I know to some people, if you don't know, if you've not experienced that, that sounds low. 5 to 10% sounds low, but in this business, that's pretty high. It's pretty high. A conversion rate. But, and I see that in, like, I'll see people with like under 1,000 people. She's not touching that one. Maybe size does matter to Sharon then. Oh, Sharon, we love you. Yeah, but it really doesn't. You would rather have a you know, like the old saying goes, we say it in the South, it's not the length and it's not the size, you know, it's you know, I'm not going to say the last part, but it's all in what you can do with it. It's all in what you can do to make the magic happen.
That's right.
That means engagement and a more smaller, intimate list of people who have either engaged with you personally or have been like clients of yours or friends of yours or know you personally. That smaller engaged list is actually going to convert better than the bigger list are. So and I know a lot of people, when they have people on their events and their virtual events, they want to know, oh, how big is your list? You got to have a list this big.
It's a personal question, isn't it? I'm going to ask you.
It is. It's very personal. It's like asking someone's weight or age or how much money they have in their bank account or whatever. How big is your list? That's a no question. And I really don't think it matters. And look at the person when you're recruiting people for your event. Look at the person's engagement. So maybe look at their social medias and see how engaging they are there. If they're engaging on social media with people, they probably have a more engaging mailing list as well. And they have people who will engage with them, even if it is only on social media. They're going to be promoting there as well. So you just want people who are highly engaged, not necessarily have big lists.
That's true. Actually,
I like big lists, and I cannot lie.
That should have been the title of this thing. Hey, I don't want to spend too much more time because I've got to get back in another room and take care of my Bizapalooza conversations and engagements. I don't want anyone to.
Oh, that thing is running itself, woman.
It is running itself. It's so exciting. It feels really weird. Oh, you know what? One of the things we promised that we would talk about, we did talk a little bit about platforms. We talked about Stealth Seminar. There's also, what's the other one? Evergreen. You have some clients that use Evergreen and really like it.
Yes, I do.
And we talked about
Webinar Jam. A lot of people drank that Kool-Aid earlier and got in on the flat rate pricing. So if you drank the Kool-Aid, start using it. It's a little tricky to figure out at first, but it's a good platform and good people that made it, and you're getting in while it's buggy. That's one of our theme quotes. Get in while it's buggy. So they are still working some kinks out on Webinar Jam, but it is a good platform. Even here on Hangouts, you can use Google Hangouts to do virtual events. You know, just a week or so ago, it was that, was it Ronnie Benser that was running the Google Plus birthday party?
I did that, and I followed that on my mobile device.
Right, so that was a virtual event right there. It was a birthday party for Google Plus, and it was like a virtual event. I don't know that there was a lot of teaching going on. I only popped in a couple of times, but there was it was a lot of engaging with other people who appreciate Google Plus. So that's a good platform too. Something else too, if you're just first starting out doing virtual events, I suggest too, if you want to just do a telesummit, and I have clients that still do telesummits, and they do really well. So you could do that. You can even do a telesummit using like a free conference call and record your interviews doing that. So it doesn't really cost you a lot of money. You can, set up your pages on a WordPress platform or on like an optimized press platform or, whatever. So there are ways to run that without a lot of money and a lot of investment. So, try those. Try Hangouts. I think Hangouts are great too. That's if you want to run a live in-person event. You can do the Hangouts, or even doing a Hangout during an event that you already had scheduled up. Kind of like Ivana, has all of hers scheduled up. So you could also do a live Hangout or do like a live Hangout watch party. For your event. That would be a lot of fun, and have some people in your film strip maybe talking about the events that the presentations that they just saw or whatever. So those are good ideas too. I'm really enjoying Google Hangouts, so I say, hey, use it.
Well, and we got Sharon here with us, and I want to. The whole idea of virtual events has been really popular with consultants and coaches. But I really want to bring something to light. One of our presenters at Bizapalooza, Robert Imbriel, is going to be talking about new media as a phrase. And this is all the things that we're experiencing right here. It's just going, hold on a minute. Oh, my gosh. I have a Bizapalooza emergency. But the idea is that, what was I saying? I totally blah, blah, blah.
What was your emergency? Are you okay?
Yeah, I got someone who can't log in. That's all. I want to send her a link.
It's probably user error. So Sharon wants to know more about.
I want to say, so Robert Imbriel was talking about the fact that a lot of brick and mortar businesses should be using what do you call it, media, like we're doing, whether it's Google Hangouts or virtual events or webinars or ebooks or all these different ways, so that it gets the word out. So, for example, if you're looking for a chiropractor and you drive down the street, all you see is a bunch of chiropractic signs. So you don't see anything like why you should choose, right?
Right.
So the new media thing is really going to, can really work. And Sharon says she wants to know more about telesummits. Haven't heard of those before. Oh my gosh.
Give me a call, Sharon. I can tell you all about telesummits and how they work. So go to vavillage.com, all of you. Now, go to vavillage.com and seriously, Sharon, and
Fill out the
fill
form.
out yeah, fill out the form and set up an appointment with me. I have like a 1 hour free consultation if you just want to talk about telesummits and what all they entail, so you know what you're getting into. I'll talk to you about it. Or you can get my number from Ivana, either way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely telesummits, they're great. Video is very good. A lot of people like video now, and it
Well,
is more engaging too, though.
well, you get to see, you get a lot of, this is
You
what
get
I
the visual of the slides, and you're getting the voice, so you're getting a little bit of everything. But
exactly.
another thing too with the video, they're a little harder to watch if you're on the go. And so a lot of times, I know for me, if I'm going to be part of or watch or any kind of virtual event during the day while I'm working, I don't have time to sit there and watch the actual event. A lot of times I'll have it playing in the background, so I'm basically just listening anyway, and may click over to see something if something kind of sparks my interest. So I still think you can get good results with telesummits as well.
Exactly, exactly. And one recommendation I would make, and I do this for Bizapalooza, I have a success Bizapalooza pack. Oh my God, there it is.
Oh,
And
don't break a rib.
break a rib. And one of the things that's included in there are transcripts as well as audio as well as video, because you really want to make sure that people are getting the information, whether they're visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, and want to like draw and circle things or whatever. So
right.
Those are just some of our tips for events. Oh, you know, did we talk about who should do them, right? Who should be doing virtual events, aside from coaches and consultants? And we talked a little bit about maybe
the chiropractors, yeah. I think anyone can do a virtual event. And your event can just, even if you're just telling and showing slides or whatever on your expertise, whether it is you're a chiropractor or you're a dentist or, you know, you're a real estate agent or whatever it is, everyone, it's like a little commercial. So think of it that way. Any type of business can run a commercial, and commercials work well. So just think of it as a commercial, and anyone can do it. Anyone can run a virtual event. It can be a small event. It can just be, it could be you just doing a presentation as well and doing a webinar and maybe, you know, showing some slides. Maybe if you're a real estate agent, you give some good tips on maybe finding a good real estate agent, or you give some tips on what to look for in a house, or, you know, how to find a good home inspector and how to get good loans and, you know, things like that. So no matter what business you're in, there's a lot of information that you have to offer people. And we are, like I said many times in many hangouts, we are in a world of information. People love to consume information. And so the more information you can give them, the better. And if they know that, you know, you're really good and you have this expertise in your area, then, you know, they're going to want to hire you. So they may want to hire you to buy their next home or to sell their next home, or they may want to go to your office for chiropractic services because they feel like they know you and they know something about you and you've shared some good information with them. So I say anybody can run a virtual event of, you know, whatever size, even if it's small.
And let's talk a little bit about topics, right? So I want to make sure, I haven't given a whole session on virtual events here, right? One of the things I think that's really fun is you have a broad, like when we do Bizapalooza, it is a broad topic area. We've got finance, and we've got mindset, and marketing, and sales, and all different topics. It's a general type of a platform. Whereas one of the things I'm looking at doing this year, and I really encourage folks to do, is you can pick a very, very narrow slice, like you and I talked about doing one on speaking.
Right.
And just having speakers, right?
Right.
Or
and then if it's more focused, then I think you can actually do better marketing, because you can hone in on a certain group of people that have a certain niche interest. So those are good. The broad ones are okay too. You're going to cover a lot of area, and Bizapalooza is a little more broad. Not really broad. I mean, it's all about small business, but you're getting a lot of information about different things. But even has done really good too at breaking it down into sections. So you know kind of what you're going to learn each day. So that helps to kind of narrow it down a little bit. But even doing, you know, just narrowed telesummits or virtual events, just like my analysis of the real estate agent. So maybe one of your events is just all about what to look for in a new house. And maybe, you know, you talk about just the things that, maybe some of the telltale signs or some warning signs in a house of why you shouldn't buy. And then maybe later you do another one, and maybe you focus on, you know, finding a good real estate agent. And then maybe you do another one and it's all on house financing or, you know, whatever. So, yeah, I think narrowing it, it does help too. And having a really good purpose and letting people know exactly what they're going to get, you know, from that event. So I think we've given you guys a lot of good virtual event information. I hate that I couldn't be as silly as I usually am because I really don't want to hurt my friend Ivana's rib any further. But next time, though, you heal that up, because next time I'm going to make you laugh until you pee your pants, okay? Because I got to make up for this time.
I'll be wearing a diaper.
And next time I will be broadcasting live from Florida, because I'm taking a 2-week Florida road trip. I'm looking forward to it. So if any of you out there are from Florida, then let me know where you're at, and I might stop by and say hello. We're actually going all the way down the coast of Florida, and then through the Keys, and then back up the Gulf Coast and through the Panhandle, and then back home. So we are taking a true road trip. I will, of course, be working virtually, but very virtually and very remote. And I hope to not be eaten by any alligators or hugged by any pythons.
You will see them. So I cannot wait. So we'll be planning on doing Random Hangout. Rhonda and I will work it out. Stay tuned and watch your email for the next invite.
Yeah, we'll be here. I will still do Random Hangout and do it from the road and maybe from a really cool place that I can show you guys. So
that would be awesome.
Stay tuned. We're going to leave Ivana laugh until she pees her pants to make up for this time, since I couldn't make her laugh. She's going to heal up really well over the next week. You guys go check out Bizapalooza. Ivana has worked really, really hard on this. I've worked so hard on it. She didn't work me to death this time, because a lot of it, like we said, if you do good planning, then a lot of it is done. So Ivana worked me some, but not as hard as usual on it. But she has worked very hard, gotten some really good sponsors, really good experts, including myself. You know, go over there, enjoy that, and get that good information, because you guys, we want to hear too how you're rocking your business after Bizapalooza. I want to hear how you got inspired and rocked your business. That's one of my favorite things about Bizapalooza last year. I really enjoyed hearing from people who were like psyched and excited, and a lot of them had like a renewed excitement for their own business and things that they were going to do. So,
that's what makes it so worthwhile. That's what makes.
I'm looking forward to hearing that.
I know. I love it. I love it. Hey, it's time for the outro.
All right, and maybe she can play it correctly. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining us. Go watch Bizapalooza now, and we'll see you next week.
Woo! Outro time.
Outro. Do a little dance, Ivana.
I don't know if people can see me.
Your screen share isn't up. All we see is you dancing.
Are you serious?
You got a screen share. Yes,
are you serious? I did.
Yeah.
Are you serious? It's playing.
It's not on your screen share. There you go. Now it is.
Yeah. Oh, so you saw me dancing again.
Yes, excellent. That's all I saw.
Excellent. Bye, everybody.
Oh, well. Bye.